Most men miss the subtle signs women give off. They think attraction is all about what they say, how they look, or how much attention they give. But the truth is, women are constantly communicating, and most of their messages aren't verbal. The key to understanding what she truly wants lies in decoding her body language. When you can read these signs, you stop guessing and start knowing. The Stoic man doesn't rely on assumptions. He watches, listens, and responds based on what he observes. Body language speaks louder than words. A slight shift in posture, the way she looks at you, or how she moves around you all reveal her emotions and intentions. When you become adept at reading these signs, you unlock the true art of connection and attraction. Women are often more subtle in how they express their interest. Unlike men, who tend to be more direct, women use their body language to communicate their feelings, and often, these signs are much more powerful than anything they could say. A Stoic man knows that understanding these cues is not about reading every movement or gesture. It's about interpreting the intent behind them. Women give off signals when they're interested, when they're comfortable, and when they're testing boundaries. A Stoic man doesn't rush to respond. He simply observes, processes, and then acts with confidence. One of the most telling signs is eye contact. A woman who looks at you for just a little longer than usual, who holds your gaze with a soft intensity, is often communicating her interest. But it's not just the act of looking at you, it's the energy behind it. The Stoic man doesn't get lost in the moment. He remains grounded, understanding that eye contact is just one piece of the puzzle. Another powerful indicator of interest is physical proximity. Women, when they're attracted to a man, will subconsciously close the distance between themselves and him. If she leans in when speaking to you, or if she's positioning herself so she's facing you directly, these are signs she's emotionally engaged and wants to connect. A Stoic man doesn't just notice these shifts, he remains calm and steady in the face of them. He understands that emotional attraction isn't built in moments of rush or desperation, but in the subtle cues and unspoken exchanges. When a woman starts to move closer, you don't need to react impulsively. Stay composed, and use the moment to observe her body language further. Does she maintain eye contact? Does she mirror your movements? These are signs that she's emotionally syncing with you, and it's a clear indicator of attraction. The Stoic man uses this awareness to understand her desires without needing to guess or chase. Instead, he uses his calm presence to create space for her to express her interest more clearly. If you're ready to unlock the power of emotional control and seduction, subscribe and hit the bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next. A key body language signal to watch for is touch. Now, this doesn't mean she's necessarily going to make a bold move right away, but small, subtle touches can indicate a desire to connect with you. Whether it's a light touch on your arm while laughing, or a casual brushing of your hand, these small gestures are often her subconscious way of expressing interest. The Stoic man knows how to respond to touch. He doesn't react nervously or overdo it. Instead, he remains steady and confident, subtly acknowledging the gesture without overanalyzing it. The key is not to chase the touch, but to be comfortable with it when it happens. These touches are a sign that she feels comfortable around you, and the more you remain emotionally controlled in response, the more she'll want to be closer. A Stoic man doesn't jump at every touch. He lets the moment breathe, which keeps the attraction flowing without forcing anything. Another crucial aspect of body language that women use to express interest is how they position their body when around you. Pay attention to how she stands or sits when you're near. Does she face you directly, or does she turn her body away? A woman who's interested in you will often angle her body toward you, unconsciously inviting you into her space. If she's actively engaged in the conversation, maintaining open posture with relaxed shoulders and not crossing her arms, it's a sign that she's comfortable and wants to be emotionally close. The Stoic man notices these signs, but doesn't rush or overreact. He remains centered, understanding that attraction isn't something that needs to be forced, but something that can naturally unfold. When you remain emotionally controlled, even in these moments of closeness, you allow the attraction to grow without rushing. You remain present, not by pushing the connection forward, but by allowing her to feel safe and drawn in. This balance of presence and space is key to maintaining steady, meaningful attraction. Another subtle yet powerful sign to watch for is mirroring. Mirroring is when she subconsciously mimics your movements, gestures, or speech patterns. This happens when someone is emotionally attuned to you and feels a connection. When she mirrors your body language, it's a sign that she feels comfortable and aligned with you on a deeper level. For the Stoic man, this is a moment of observation, not one of overreaction. A Stoic man doesn't rush in or feel the need to comment on this. Instead, he remains composed and notices the shift in energy. When a woman mirrors your body language, it's a reflection of her emotional investment in you. She's signaling that she's engaged and interested. You don't need to force this connection or manipulate it. By simply being emotionally grounded, calm, and in control, you allow her to connect with you naturally. The more she mirrors you, the more you create an emotional sync, and the more attraction builds without words. Another powerful body language cue is the way she reacts to your touch or proximity. When a woman is attracted to you, her body will naturally lean in towards you, even without her realizing it. If she's standing or sitting close to you, her physical proximity to you shows that she feels comfortable and safe around you. But the real signs are in the small details. When she subtly adjusts her posture to get closer to you, when she doesn't pull back when you're near, or when she naturally mirrors your movements. These are signs that her body is drawn to yours, and she feels emotionally connected to you. A Stoic man notices these shifts, but doesn't chase them. He doesn't rush into closing the physical gap or push for a more intimate connection. Instead, he remains grounded and allows the attraction to grow naturally. He maintains his presence without forcing anything. By staying calm and composed, he creates the emotional space where these subtle cues can thrive, building an emotional connection without the need for words. One of the most powerful body language cues is how she responds to your gaze. Eye contact is often the first and most telling indicator of attraction. Women will often hold eye contact with a man they're interested in longer than usual, or glance at him repeatedly, hoping he'll notice. But it's not just the length of the gaze, it's the energy behind it. A Stoic man knows that eye contact isn't just about looking at someone, it's about creating a connection. When you hold her gaze, do so with calmness and intent. Don't force it. Let the moment linger and see how she reacts. If she holds your gaze, it's a sign that she's comfortable, open, and interested. If she looks away shyly or smiles, it's a further signal that she's attracted to you. The key here is not to overthink the gaze or make it uncomfortable. The Stoic man understands that eye contact, when used correctly, builds tension and anticipation without having to say a word. This subtle connection deepens the attraction because it shows emotional presence and confidence without the need for verbal validation. Another crucial body language indicator is her responsiveness to your energy. Women are highly sensitive to the energy you project. It's not just about how you stand or what you say. It's the overall vibe you give off. When a woman is attracted to you, she will respond to your energy by becoming more open, relaxed, and engaged. She might start to lean in closer, adjust her posture to face you directly, or even mirror your tone of voice. These are all signs that she is emotionally attuned to you and wants to connect. For the Stoic man, it's important to recognize that your energy doesn't need to be flashy or overly expressive. It's about maintaining calm confidence and control. When you project steady, grounded energy, it invites her to do the same. This connection happens naturally, without you having to do anything overtly dramatic. By staying emotionally composed and in control of your energy, you create a space where attraction can flourish effortlessly. Women are drawn to men who are in control of their energy because it makes them feel comfortable and at ease. As you continue to read her body language and respond with your own presence, you begin to create a natural rhythm between you two. This isn't about playing games. It's about developing a connection through subtle, nonverbal cues that align with emotional engagement. The key is in your timing, when to step closer, when to hold back, and when to allow the tension to build. A Stoic man knows that attraction isn't about rushing things. He doesn't try to force an emotional or physical connection. Instead, he lets the moment breathe, allowing the connection to unfold at its own pace. When you're emotionally present, calm, and in control, you naturally create a space where a woman feels comfortable enough to open up. She'll begin to express her feelings, her interests, and her desires through subtle body language. And the more you understand and respond to these cues, the more you build a deeper emotional connection. You become the man who doesn't chase, but instead creates the space for her to chase you. This is the true power of Stoic attraction. As you become more attuned to her body language, you'll also begin to recognize the subtle emotional shifts that occur during your interactions. Women often express vulnerability through their gestures, a slight tilt of the head, a softening of her posture, or a gentle touch. These small movements are powerful signs that she's opening up to you emotionally. The Stoic man remains aware of these shifts, but he doesn't rush to react. He doesn't push her to express more than she's ready to. Instead, he creates space for her to share, all while remaining emotionally steady and composed. This level of patience allows her to feel comfortable and safe, knowing that she doesn't have to hide her true self. By responding with calm assurance and without overreacting, you give her the freedom to express herself openly. This sense of security makes her more attracted to you because you create an environment where she can be vulnerable without fear of judgment or rejection. The true magic of seduction through body language is that it doesn't rely on words or force. It's all about being present and allowing her to feel understood without needing to explain everything. A Stoic man knows the power of silence. It's in the pauses, the moments of stillness, where you observe and allow her to feel heard without interrupting or rushing to speak. These silent moments, when paired with the right body language, build an emotional connection that words simply can't achieve. Women are naturally drawn to men who understand the power of silence. It shows confidence, emotional control, and an understanding that connection doesn't have to be forced. The right silence can be as intimate as any conversation. It creates a space where she feels safe, where she feels comfortable enough to lower her guard. In these moments, when you aren't trying to impress or make her feel something, you allow her to feel her own emotions. And that emotional space is what makes you truly magnetic. When you've mastered the art of seduction through emotional control and body language, you begin to understand the power of subtlety. The smallest gestures, the way you touch her arm lightly, the way your eyes linger for just a second longer than normal, or the way you respond to her emotions without overcommitting, all speak volumes. A Stoic man never over-explains. He doesn't get lost in details or try to force a connection. He knows that the most powerful form of attraction is the one that happens naturally. When a woman feels that she doesn't need to chase after your attention or approval, but rather earn it through her own emotional investment, she becomes deeply drawn to you. By mastering emotional control and understanding the impact of these subtle cues, you don't just attract her, you captivate her in a way that lasts. Women are drawn to men who make them feel seen and heard, not through words, but through presence and authentic emotional engagement. The key to mastering seduction without words is understanding the emotional impact you create. Women are drawn to men who don't just listen to them, but who feel their presence. When you can connect with her on this deeper, unspoken level, it creates a bond that is much stronger and longer lasting than anything words could achieve. The Stoic man knows that emotional connection isn't about effort. It's about being present and letting the connection develop naturally. You don't need to chase or seek validation. By maintaining emotional control and embodying presence, you create a space where attraction can grow without you having to force it. This emotional mastery, when combined with the right body language, creates an undeniable magnetism. Women are drawn to men who exude strength, calmness, and the ability to engage without needing to dominate. They crave the man who is steady, who doesn't seek to impress, but instead leaves them wondering more and wanting to know you deeper. When you stop trying and just be, that's when you become the man who isn't just attractive, you become unforgettable.